We've all dreamt of it, haven't we? That once-in-a-lifetime moment. The thrill of stumbling upon a dusty, forgotten object in a charity shop, a car boot sale, or a neighbor's yard sale, and feeling an inexplicable pull towards it. You hand over a few crumpled notes, take it home, and discover you're holding a piece of history, a hidden gem worth a small fortune. It's a fantasy that keeps us rummaging through boxes of old records and scanning shelves of mismatched china. For one lucky guest on the BBC's Antiques Roadshow, that dream became an astonishing reality. The setting was as grand as the story that was about to unfold. The magnificent Shuttleworth House in Bedfordshire. A place steeped in history, its elegant halls were now buzzing with the quiet anticipation of hopeful visitors, each clutching a treasured possession. Among them stood a woman with a rather unusual sculptural lamp, waiting patiently for her turn with an expert. She had no idea that her casual, everyday purchase was about to become the star of the show. When she finally sat down with ceramics and glass expert Will Farmer, her story began not with a dramatic auction or a mysterious inheritance, but with the simple, relatable tale of a walk home. "I bought it in a yard sale on the way back from the station," she began, a warm smile playing on her lips. It wasn't an impulse buy, not exactly. She'd seen it sitting there, day after day. It'd been there for about 3 days, she explained. You can almost picture it. A solitary sculptural form standing proud on a patch of grass, ignored by passers-by, looking more like an oddity than a treasure. By the time Friday rolled around, the yard sale had dwindled to almost nothing. It was just that and a piece of a lawnmower left there. Something about it called to her. She couldn't shake the image of the lamp from her mind, so she took a chance. She walked up to the house, knocked on the door, and simply asked, "Is it still for sale?" When the owner confirmed it was, she didn't hesitate. "Right, I'll have that," she declared, only to discover a slight complication. "I didn't realize how heavy it was though," she laughed, recounting the struggle of getting her new purchase home. Expert Will Farmer, with a twinkle in his eye that suggested he knew something wonderful was coming, leaned in. "So I'm guessing if it had been there for 3 or 4 days, it must have been really expensive then," he queried, playing along. The guest's response was the first bombshell of the day. With a shake of her head and a disbelieving laugh, she confessed, No, it wasn't. It was £10. "Wow," Will exclaimed, his professional composure momentarily breaking into pure, unadulterated shock. The audience murmured in appreciation. £10. The price of a couple of coffees or a takeaway lunch. For this striking, architectural piece of art languishing on a lawn. It was a bargain of epic proportions, but the story was far from over. What drew her to it in the first place? It wasn't a knowledge of design or a tip from an expert. It was something far more personal, a feeling woven from the threads of memory. "It reminded me a lot of things I saw when I was growing up," she shared warmly. "Teachers with ceramic pendants, different sort of coffee mugs, and I just really liked the color." It was a purchase driven by pure nostalgia, a connection to the earthy, chunky, and honest aesthetics of a bygone era. For her, it wasn't an investment, it was a feeling. She took the heavy lamp home, gave it a good clean, and it was only then, as she wiped away years of dust, that she found a clue to its origins. A small, stamped label simply reading Rook. This was the moment the personal story transformed into a piece of design history. Will Farmer's eyes lit up. Rook, he confirmed, refers to the brilliant British artist and studio potter, Bernard Rook. He then began to paint a picture of the artist, a man who was a true pioneer of the post-war studio pottery movement. He started his potting career in 1960 in a small studio in South London, Will explained, his voice filled with admiration. But Rook's vision was too big for the city. By 1967 he'd sort of outgrown that space, and he wanted to find himself a better environment for him to work, so he moved up to an old mill in Suffolk. This move allowed his creativity to flourish, resulting in the distinctive, almost brutalist style for which he is renowned. Will continued, "In terms of his work, we do see a lot of lamps, but most of the lamps that we see are table lamps, sort of 12, 14, 16 inches high. Absolutely typically him, and you can tell they're him straight away." Then came the crucial distinction. He gestured towards the towering lamp in front of them. But these, he said, pausing for dramatic effect, these are rare. He revealed the lamp's proper name, the totem. It was an apt description. The lamp was a towering stack of individually crafted,